Commissioner Wilkinson.
Present.
Commissioner Gallagher.
Here.
There is a quorum present.
Okay, Shannon, please, as you wish, for invocation and the allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sir.
Most holy and glorious Lord God, the great architect of the universe, we come to you and we praise you, Father God. Lift us up in the pandemic. Give us the strength, the courage, and the wisdom to do what is right. And we praise you and we ask that you be with us in the ensuing future. It's in Christ's name we pray.
And thank you. Our consent agenda is approval of the minutes of our last meeting back in April 21. Monthly reports from the Recorder of Deeds, County Clerk, and the Public Administrator. Appointment orders for Ruth Ann Young and Janitorial and Valencia Moore of the Election Department. Then certificate of achievement by me. Motion?
Move to accept the consent agenda as printed.
Okay, second.
And I will second that.
All in favor, aye. Aye. Thank you. And no tabled agenda items. We will open a bid for insurance, and you may hear the words inland marine, but that's for moving equipment and vehicles. The rest of it's building and contents.
It's all the same but different.
All right. We worked on this, when I say we, I'm talking about Rhonda, for days to get this ready. We sent it off to dozens of insurance companies. The only ones that responded were the same ones that have responded in previous years. First State Insurance Agency has different bid packages from, she said she would be sending them. It's selective, the different companies that bid through them and that they represent are all contained in here. And so what I'd like to do is, they all have different nuances to them. It needs to go through the auditor's office to make sure that they were bid properly, and then we will come back hopefully in a couple of weeks with a recommendation of which company to go through. It may be the same provider we have right now, but they all came and did extensive due diligence, and a lot of the other ones didn't even want to do that. They didn't even want to bid on. We have a lot of different buildings, a lot of different equipment, a lot of different things moving, and these were the companies that wanted to bid, and so they made sure they got bid on apples to apples on everything we're bidding on.
Okay. I can tell you that a lot's been done on updating the square footage of the buildings and the style of the buildings and the dollar amounts of the contents and making sure the vehicles are the right titles and years and everything on that. Everything's covered, and deleted stuff's not on there anymore. A lot has been done. So since the last coverage, there'll be some
Equipment
dollar figures.
Is,
Yes.
you know, we had dozens and dozens of people, pieces of equipment that were not on our insured list for different reasons. And we have Chubb, Nationwide, and a couple other providers that have put bids in on all of it. But now they have all the same equipment, same building, the same square footages and things like that.
Okay.
We'll say that Rhonda worked diligently with Road Bridge
Yes,
to
yes.
get us up there.
And you have a lot of equipment.
A lot.
The sheriff's department have a lot of equipment. And if you gotta bid it, you gotta bid it on the same pieces of equipment. You can't. And so that's what they attempted to do there, and we'll have a recommendation.
Yeah. A lot of work's been done on it, and we will hear from that in the near future. Now, that's the only bid that's just been opened up.
There's actually several bids within that,
There,
but the agency, as representative for those companies, had sent them all in. So First State Insurance represents several of these companies, and these are the bids.
All right. Okay, that will be vetted, make sure everything's done properly, and we'll announce that in the future. Any other questions or comments on this? Okay. Now, awarded the annual bid from the circuit clerk, and that's kind of pro forma, they probably want to receive one bid. I don't know that. It's here. Do I have a motion to accept this bid?
Well, you go ahead.
No, we just received one bid from
That's all I
Office
have.
Mineral Area Office Supply.
Yes.
She submitted her recommendation like everyone else's.
Yeah. So you're acting on circuit clerk's recommendation.
On her recommendation, I move that we accept or award the bid to Mineral Air Office Supply.
Second.
And I will second that.
Any questions? All in favor, aye? Aye, thank you. Present quote for email host, this is Mr. Dwayne.
Good morning, Dwayne Mooney, Acting IT Director. Back in February 4th of this year, Dano asked the permission to start looking for a state contract bid for the Sheriff's Department. And at that time, it was approved to seek forward. Right here, I have the bid from the state contract to provide 1 year of service for the Sheriff's Department to switch email services over to an exchange like Office, Microsoft Office account. The total amount came out to $19,955.23. The budget for this year was $20,000 on that, which is going to be taken care of. Now that does include a program called Proofpoint, which allows for archiving and saving of emails for 7+ years due to the sunshine law requests and everything that comes out with that. And so I asked the commission at this time to accept this bid from the state contract.
Okay.
Who is that with?
That's through Huber and Associates.
Huber.
H-
Okay.
Huber.
On the recommendation of our acting IT director, I would move that we accept the state contract from the amount of $19,955.23 from Huber.
And I'd second the motion.
Any questions? All in favor of accepting this, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Dwayne, appreciate it. The CARES Act certification, we will be getting $7.885 million tomorrow into the county's checking account for the CARES Act. This is given out through the state for on exactly a pro forma, per capita basis, based on population only of the county. And so we got 7.88 million. The other smaller counties around us got between 1 and 2 typically. This money must be spent on COVID-related expenses, verifiable. We will be audited for this expenditure. Our treasurer has set up a special account for the receipt of this money, and it will be taken care of. And so we need authorization for me to act as the executive in this, receive this cash, and I will be taking responsibility for the expenditure of this cash. So, and also, I would like a secondary authorization for Travis Elliott and Seymour RPC in case I need their assistance on this, on any matters. For instance, there's still rules being written on what qualifies in some cases. And so those rules are being written, and so I'm sure I'll need some legal expertise in there somewhere.
On that,
And this goes on for a while.
It goes, the expenses or expenditures must be made from March 1st, I believe, through December 31st of this year.
at the request, I move that we name you as the executive to deal with this and to also access Travis Elliott and Seymour Richard Planning Commission to help administer this.
I think I got the initials back with RPC and Go ahead.
I'll second.
Okay, any questions?
It's funny how this came about. This last week, Commissioner Gallagher called me and he said, hey, the RPCs are possibly looking at these monies coming in. And I said, well, let me just call the director. I've been the chairman of the RPC since 2013, so it's nice to kind of have the director's cell phone number. But I called him and I got some more verification last week, and then Monday they are going to be the admin on this. There's some questions on they're going to be billed at an hourly rate. There's some questions through the state treasurer's office and the feds. State treasurer's office is going to argue that these admin fees will be built into the funding scenario, but at the end of the day they're being told that the ultimate decision will be up to the feds. But that's how Perry County Commission, they met on Monday. They were told that they're doing what they can to get the admin fees built in. So everybody's just assuming that the admin fees will be built in. So we're continuing to look at that. The RPC, as you know, it stands for Southeast Missouri Regional Planning Commission. It's a 7-county consortium. It represents Iron, Madison, Bollinger, Cape, Perry, St. John, and obviously St. Francis County. I'm proud of that organization. I'm chairman of that organization, but we receive a lot of funding opportunities, especially with grant calls through that organization. So there is limited what we can spend those funds on. We're just not going to be spending just to be spending. Amber Elliott, the director of the health department, she's excited. We're looking at a lot of things. So that's where we're at.
I've gone through the documentation the last couple of days and looked at things that can be used for these expenditures. Some of those public hospitals and clinics, if they've run short, if they've been harmed by this COVID disease, testing, transportation, medical transportation, medical protective equipment, child protection services, disinfection of public areas, payroll expenses if we've encountered that, and different things like sick pay, county jail maintenance for sanitation and improvement. So anything that we can justifiably say that is an extra expense because of COVID, we can put on this grant, this funding. If we don't spend it logically and appropriately, then it'll have to go back to the state at the end of the year, after the end of the year. And we hope that we can send back some money. Okay, yes.
One comment on that. We're right in the middle of the census. This is the exact reason
Exactly.
why this is important. Under our new census, we would probably gotten another $500,000 because of our growth in the county. We have to show that. People have to turn the census in so that when they allot something per capita, we show that we have that amount of people.
And there are added caveats built into this. One that sticks to mind is you can't use this money for a budget shortfall. So they are sticklers and will adhere to.
We will be audited. We
Yes,
know
sir.
that. That's one.
And we want to return the money to the state, who has to return it to the federal government. It's our tax dollars if we do not have proper expenditures on this.
It's to help us and not a windfall. That's the way we look at it. And that thing about the census is just one example. There are a lot of reasons that you want your census accurate count. Okay, I have a motion second.
Commissioner,
Yes.
we have set up a spreadsheet for all officers to submit. Did I say something wrong?
Not yet, but that's the alert. Go ahead.
1 minute more.
So you will lose if those invoices are not submitted correctly for the intent of this, you will lose that funding from any office.
Yeah.
So it's imperative that the office holders, when they submit their invoice, even put a sticky note on there, why or where or whatever. Because as we add it to that spreadsheet, whether it's time or material, etc., as you said, it'll be audited. My question is Travis Elliott going to charge us for his able assistance?
It's only as needed, and yeah, there'll be a charge. Now, we get so many hours free every month, though. I'm hoping
Well,
that'll come in.
Well, yeah, I know we get so many hours free, but with multiple offices leaning on Travis Elliott, those hours don't last very long.
Yeah,
There is a memorandum that I guess you received from Mr. Elliott concerning this.
I did, and we will try to apply logically or legitimately every expense we can to that.
But what I note is, conveniently, it was not noted on if Ellis, Hammonds and Johnson is going to submit a monthly invoice for their expertise.
I'm sure they will.
I just want that noted.
Good point. Any other, yes?
I know you as a presiding commissioner will facilitate this money from the state, but it's also available to any other municipality throughout the county other than just the county government,
Yeah,
is that correct?
I've already contacted the health department to see if they need to expand testing and what they need to do on that, and so, yeah.
So the money isn't just for county.
Right, there is a.
Governmental entity.
There's a specific place in there, I'll say I don't wanna say department of the county, but adjunct of the county, we can grant them funds out of this to operate legitimately again.
And that may include ambulance service.
Yes, and police, the local police or anything, thinking 911, if they can just, show that they have extra expenses to go with, because communication is listed here.
As I interpret it, it's any political subdivision in the county. Political subdivision defined as any taxing entity.
But it's not for operations, it's
No.
for the COVA. You know, almost
Specific
everyone
business.
had some provisions that they either had to lay people off or they had to put up shields or whatever. Those directly related to the fighting the COVA virus can qualify even if they are a company.
They
If it's
call it
911.
approved expenses, yeah.
Approved expenses.
Which excuse me for interrupting, to answer your question though, I think would include your schools, your municipalities,
Schools are mentioned.
as defined by, the state treasurer.
Talks about delivered lunches too, delivered meals. Talks about that, and that's a possibility. So, we're getting out into gray areas that would be hard. to-
Yeah.
That's where we need
Ag
LSIs
department is
and-
back those up.
Yeah. But.
But to clarify what Gay just said, that's why we need Travis Elliott. So that $7.8 million can be used to pay him, is that
It
correct?
would, I would guess it could, because it's directly related and required, I mean, for the act, institution.
Okay.
But no matter what, we need legal advice, we have to pay for it.
What would that compare to what SEMO Regional Planning would charge us?
Again, like I said, I talked to Jeremy Tans, the director, and that's still
Not clear.
not clear. You know, he talked to, like I said, he talked to the state treasurer's office today, and they're going to argue that, yes, that will be a valid expense. But at the end of the day, ultimately, it's the federal treasury that, so.
I see.
I can't get a, yes, it is covered, or no, it's still in that gray area.
That's not my question. What is the cost of using SEMO Regional versus Travis
Well,
Elliott?
they would bill us at an hourly rate, and I could get that rate.
So could that be a combined rate with the other 6 counties?
Well, that's what we're looking at.
That's all under negotiation right now. We just wanted to get this
Sure.
approval, and so we can get this active. Frankly, the paperwork went out, I guess Monday, last Monday. As soon as we got it, that went out that day, so we got it done. And like I say, the funds are coming in tomorrow, so it took them, they needed several, they definitely got certification. That's coming, and I think the treasurer's got the fund, or the parking spot lined out for the funds. Any other comments, questions? All in favor of this, allowing me to do this, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, thank you so much. We need to appoint a board member for the, developmentally disabled, and you want to take over?
Mr.
Uh,
Edward
yeah.
Sure.
Shuck.
Yeah.
Yes, and their board does receive monies, but with that being said, from the county, Mr. Edward Shuck, they have chosen, so on the recommendation of the St. Francis County Development Disabled Board, I would move that we appoint Mr. Edward Shuck.
And I'll second that, but this is a reappointment. He's served on the board for some time.
He is a retired pharmacist,
Pharmacist.
and he has an adult child with special needs. That's why he has a very acute interest in this area.
Passion, good.
Okay. Motion?
Motion that he's.
Oh, you already have it.
Yeah, second, yeah.
Okay. Any other questions? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Shuck. Next meeting, 2 weeks from today, and we will probably continue this until we get into phase 3 of the president's plan. Other business correspondence? Public comments? Departmental reports?
We will be having a supervisors meeting on the 13th of all of our elections to go over the protocol for the COVA. We're doing everything possible. We bought lots of pens, we bought lots of stylus so that they're not disposable, but they will be disposed, and then so nobody else touches them before they're all cleaned again. We're setting every table double wide, so you'll be 6 foot wide when you vote, so but we have to go over the supervisors, and that's next week. We'll be going over this is the protocol, this is what you gotta do, this is how often you gotta, anytime somebody comes in, you have to wipe the door unless it's mild weather where we can keep the door open, so people don't touch any contact points will be looked at, and, we will have, we're getting, masks and face shields and, disinfectant and everything else. We did that, some of it, we didn't have the mask last time, but we're gonna go forward, but we're doing that. The other thing, our Cinco de Mayo festival was canceled.
Okay.
Or today.
Is that-
Third meeting?
This is the 13th, it will be the June 2nd election.
June 2nd on that.
Right, so this is preparation for that, and then we've got another one come out the first week of August. So right now, everything's a go on, the election. Missouri had the largest increase in, reported cases yesterday, but it's because they've been testing every chicken plant, pork plant, every person at Gilster Mary Lee. I mean, they did more testing in the last few days than they did in the previous weeks. So it's gonna be to be expected. When you test more, you're gonna have more.
And you said the supervisor meeting, that's all polling place
That's-
supervisors?
Every polling place has 2 supervisors, a Democrat and a Republican, and they will be called in to go over what we want them to do.
So that's who's invited to that meeting. Okay, yes.
When's our next meeting?
May 21st.
It's a Thursday.
That's a Thursday.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Sure,
We'll
should be
meet on the
12.
19th.
19th.
You sure?
We'll be here on the night.
Okay, sorry about that. Okay. Their sheriff's given us a report that, they're about to get back to normal over there. That's what they're doing now, and we thank you, Dan, for trying to get that moving and going again. Look at this. Well, I announced last month that we would not see any positive figures for the rest of the year. I was wrong.
You were positive.
I was positive. And, but remember, this is for March receipts, processed in April, and received by us in May. So it's still lagging 2 months or more. So I guess I'll say it again, this is probably the last positive number we'll see.
Good quarter.
I hope not. I hope I'm wrong again, but there it is. There's your, Kevin, you wanna talk about that?
Well, they've delayed once again, the liquor license renewals, and we operate that. Linda actually does those, and we're just going along in compliance with the state statutes, what they're saying they're doing. They're letting people that have not been open, bars primarily that have not been open, extend the time period they have to renew their licenses.
But there's a schedule and the fines set out for it if you're late by those times. And if you don't have your license by August 31st, quit selling. You can't do it anymore. Okay, any questions? We're now in phase 1 as of yesterday morning, and we've seen restaurants getting back in gear, and I've not seen the rush that I anticipated, but I am seeing people coming out and starting to get back to normal life again.
We'll see Mother's Day, how that
Yeah, we'll
works
see.
in the restaurant business.
Okay. There's something I've spent several hours working on, so there it is.
We made it look like it's real efficient.
Yeah, there it is, yeah. At least I didn't have to put my own name on it, but other than that, got another in there. Okay.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming.